Hi everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to Carol's Daily Sauce. Please do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell so that you can be reminded of each and every video that I upload. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. Welcome to those who have been here with me for a while. Thank you for those that support me, and thank you even to those that don't support me. Thank you to all of the haters. Thank you to the ones that come with me and to me, even with the nastiest of comments. And what I do is I respond, and depending on what you have said, you get booted. I'm so proud of myself because for the last 2 days, or maybe a few days, I have got a lot of hate. A lot of hate, a lot of hate. I even had this one person today tell me that I'm trying to come up on Strong Mommy Chrissy and, come up off of her. But the reality is this, and you guys, y'all have seen my videos, you've seen my reactions, you see what I say. This is social media, a social platform. It's a free platform. We are able to do and say what it is that we want to say, give our opinions within reason. And so I'm going to continue to do it. I mean, somebody called me a troll today. I told her, exactly, troll. You acting like you're getting paid to come on my page. This is the thing that I'm saying. Chrissy ain't even coming for me. But y'all groupies is. Team Chrissy, I don't have a problem with you. You can be Team Chrissy all you want, all day. That has nothing to do with me. But you can't come here to this here house and be talking crazy because you will get the boot. If you want to see something really, really funny, get on my channel. Check my videos where I was responding to some of the comments, and I believe the young lady's name is Lisa Neal, and I wrote her a few paragraphs about how she get booted coming to my page because I'm a little tired of being nice to people. I'm a little tired. If you read something, if you see something, you don't like it, you don't have to be here. You can politely leave. You are not in chains. You are not entrapped. You come here, you watch the videos, and I sure thank you for the viewing time. And then you want to leave something to me as if you're going to stop me from doing it. I just want to tell you something. Get your whole entire life. Now on for the new video that I'm talking about. And this is somebody who has, I know, more money than me, and I think more money than most of us. We are talking about Mr. Brian McKnight. Now, let me tell you guys something. I love Brian McKnight. I always have. He is an entertainer that, actually, my husband and I were just talking about it. We don't even know someone that even reminds us of Brian McKnight. Brian McKnight is one who sings melodies and ballads, and he's amazing. So, years ago, I just loved him. I thought he was the most handsome thing ever. But I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that he had a wonderful singing voice. But he's still handsome now. He's extremely handsome now because he has this gray on his chin. But I know some years ago, Brian had gotten a divorce from his first wife, which I was very surprised because I thought that he would never divorce her because they seemed to be so in love. But once again, as I always say, you never know what's going on behind closed doors. You never know what's going on at your neighbor's house. You never know. So anyway, he ended up divorcing his first wife. And from that marriage, he had 2 sons. He had Brian Jr., and I forgot the other one's name, but I do know that they are 3 years apart. Right now, their ages are 30 and 27. So I don't know if I've been under a rock or what, because anything with Brian McKnight, normally I'd be on it. But over the past couple of days, some videos have been popping up about Brian McKnight on these radio talk shows where his children, specifically the older son, Brian McKnight Jr., has been having a lot to say about his father. Ironically enough, these 2 sons have helped Brian write music. They have performed with him. But what's coming out now is that Brian is being accused of being a deadbeat dad. Okay. Now, As I said before, he has a 30-year-old son, he has a 27-year-old son, and he also has a younger daughter. Now, the daughter is not from his first marriage. He actually was not even married to the woman that he got pregnant. And from what Mr. McKnight says, the young lady who got pregnant with a young girl only got pregnant by him for money. Now, let me tell you something. I can't stand for men to do that. I can't stand for them to do that, because the bottom line is this. You're two adults. You know that you're about to get intimate, and it's both of your responsibilities, or either one of your responsibilities, to make sure that if you don't want to have a child, you don't have a child, okay? The woman could be taking birth control pills. They could collectively together use, I'm just giving all kinds of different things that can be used. Spermicide, they can use rubbers. They can use all kinds of things that are needed to prevent pregnancy. So for Brian to say that she got pregnant with him just for money, he too is at fault, because that, to me, honestly, that sounds like a very angry statement. It does. It sounds like a very angry statement. I don't know what went on in their relationship, but I do know a child was born as a result of it. I don't even know the little girl's name, and I did not even know that he had had another daughter. The only children that I knew, and this is how under a rock I've been in regards to Brian McKnight, I only knew that he had the two sons. Long story short, some years ago, Brian had taken his two older sons, placed them into an apartment, paid the rent for 2 months, gave them money so that they could maintain the household, probably for food, bills, and all kinds of other things. He only did it for 2 months, because one of the videos that I seen, he was saying that just like most men in the world, his two sons are men and they need to get out and go and make a living for themselves, like what most people have to do. It's not only something that only men have to do. Women have to do it too, especially if you are a woman and you are raising your children on your own, or even if you don't have children, you still need to be able to take care of yourself. You still need to be able to go out, have a job, to maintain. And so for 2 years, he helped his sons to live, okay? Those boys, no, I won't call them boys. Those young men are blessed, because think of that. That is called privilege. That is called privileged. There are very few people that I know that can do that. And one of the videos, Brian was saying that the problem with what he did with his sons is his sons have what he feels is a sense of entitlement, because as they were coming up, he gave them everything that he didn't have. Okay? I did the same thing. Most parents do that. What you didn't have, you try to make up in your own children. And it's a sad thing, because what ends up happening is most of the time we end up failing. We don't necessarily end up failing in giving them things, but we end up failing in some area of our life, because what we're doing is, number one, we're probably trying to live beyond our means. We're not paying bills that need to be taken care of just so that we can, quote unquote, keep up with the Joneses. Keep up with making our children happy. Make sure that our kids don't feel different because they don't have this shoe, or maybe the girl doesn't have her nails done, or this bracelet, or whatever the case may be. And we place ourselves and put ourselves in situations that are unfavorable. Not wise. Don't get me wrong. A mother of 3 children that I birthed. I have a bonus child. I always say my bonus baby, but I do need to let you guys know there's no difference in the love for them. I love him just as much as I love my ones that I birthed, but I just didn't birth him. But honey, I lay down the law for all 4 of them. Sure would. Bust somebody's head to the white meat, and I'm serious. I will. I come at you when it comes to my kids. And they're all grown. But I just said that to say this. For anybody that may be listening to this video, perhaps you don't have children yet. Perhaps you're raising young children. Take it from somebody who really had to learn the hard way. Only give your kids that is totally necessary. It's nothing wrong with taking them into the store periodically and buying them a doll or a car periodically. But every time you go in the store, they shouldn't get a doll or a car. They shouldn't. I have a younger son. I'm not going to say his name. Literally every 2 weeks, every time I got paid, he liked Haribo candy. I didn't go and get him Haribo candy from the regular store. I worked on base at the time, and I would get him a $9 bag of 5 pounds of Haribo candy. He didn't eat all that candy, y'all, but he wanted it. And I had the opportunity to get it for him, so I did. Just a little small example of how we do things, and we do things without really paying attention. We do things, I think a lot of times I did things, and I only can speak for myself. I think a lot of times I did things is because at the time their father and me was separated, and there were some things that they could not get because financially I couldn't provide them. So when I was able to provide them, I just went hog wild way out, you know? So back to Brian McKnight. He puts his sons into a home, into an apartment. He gives them money to take care and maintain the apartment for 2 years. He let them know that after this, I don't know what you're going to do. Now, here recently it's come out that he's a deadbeat dad, okay? I don't know how you can be a deadbeat dad if you pay for an apartment for 2 years and give them the monies to maintain it. I just don't understand that. But I did hear on some of the radio shows, they were saying that Brian said that he was a very involved father. But sometimes when we get into the entertainment industry, sometimes they think buying things is what children need. Maybe he didn't say happy birthday enough when their birthday came. Maybe he didn't say I love you enough. Maybe he didn't say I'm proud of you. Maybe he didn't do what it was that they craved or what they needed. So his sons are coming out, they're saying things, he's coming out, he's backlashing, and they're going backwards and forth. This is not good. What they need to do is come together, speak together as a family, father and sons, and try to work that thing out. Now, from what I can understand, Leilani, who is Brian McKnight's new wife, I believe she's Filipino and Mexican, beautiful little petite lady, to each his own. That don't have nothing to do with me. He fell in love with her. They got married. I believe they've been married probably a little over a year. Had tried to get the young men a job at the hospital where they would be making $18 an hour, all benefits and everything included. But the two young men didn't want it because they wanted to smoke. And I'm assuming they wanted to smoke marijuana, and that would come up dirty on a drug test. But that ain't what we're talking about. What we're talking about is entitlement, deadbeat dad, and what we do with our children and what we do to our children. Even now, as I said before, as I say all the time, I reference my children. My children are grown. They know that they can come to me when it is that they need things. However, I don't want them to keep coming to me all the time because I just don't have it all the time. I don't. And even if I did have it all the time, sometimes you have to be willing and able to stand on your own 2 feet, if you know what I'm saying. But I just believe that Brian and his sons need to work this thing out. There was some talk about also about his daughter. I don't know what her name is, and some reference, and I literally seen him on the video saying this, that his daughter was having sexual relationships with a older cousin. I would not never have said that. I would have never said that. That it's just some things that we need to keep to ourselves. Even if that is the case, it's some things that we need to keep to ourselves, because some damage, you'll never be able to repair it. Because of what you've said with your mouth, you'll never be able to repair it. But Brian was just saying that he thinks a lot of this stuff that's going on and all this stuff that's coming out is because he got married again. Now, let's talk about that. Good possibility. It could be because of the fact that he got married. His children are feeling maybe a little bit left out. I think a lot of us have probably went through that, getting with a new person, not our children's mother or father, depending on whether you're male or female or whatever your sexual preference is. Mine's is heterosexual. I'm married to a male. But I think when your children get used to you being with one person, their parent, you used to you and their father, or you and their mother together, and you separate or divorce or whatever it does, it has lasting effects on the children until they get older. And then sometimes with some people, it still lasts way clear until their adult years, and it affects them. I mean, literally, I was married for 20 some odd years, and I thought that I was going to go through a lot of stuff forever. Fortunately, I didn't. Fortunately, my children ended up dealing with and learning to process the fact that their father was with someone else and that I'm with someone else, and we're both all happy, and that's all that matters. Hopefully, they can come to a resolution. Brian and his children and his wife can come to a resolution, because the really sad thing about this whole entire debacle, because that's exactly what it is, a whole bunch of mess, is when Brian and his now wife, she was his fiance, were planning the wedding, the sons were in the wedding. They were in the wedding. So why would you come out a year later saying all kinds of crazy stuff? The only thing that I can say, and this is only my opinion, is there's some jealousy. Maybe the boys or the young men, because they're 30 and 27, maybe they wanted their dad never to marry again, and it just to be them and their dad, because you can look all over YouTube and they are doing videos and stuff with their dad. They're singing with their dad. Maybe they just wanted that. Maybe they just want their dad to continue to take care of them because he's rich. But Brian deserves a life just like everybody else. Grown men need to get out and get a job. They need to get out and take care of themselves. Young ladies need to do the same thing. You cannot live on your parents forever. So my suggestion to Mr. Brian McKnight would be this: instead of putting or responding to your children all out in the public, making yourself, or in an attempt to make yourself look good, because I think he said something about, oh, I've never been late on child support. Raising your kids, taking care of your children, and them referring to you as a deadbeat dad does not only deal with child support. Sometimes a child just needs to know that you still love them. Sometimes they need to know that I was just thinking about you on today. How about me and you meet up at a restaurant and have some dinner or some lunch? Those types of things. A deadbeat dad does not, I know it does have that negative condensation of not paying child support, but that's not only it. What I think his sons want him to be is a more involved dad. But what has happened is he's raised his children and he married another woman. And as a result of marrying another woman, he has a new life. A lot of times children can't deal with that. So that's my little take on it. I hope you guys find this commentary interesting. I try to find interesting things. I just had to talk about Brian McKnight because I love his talent. I love his singing. I was telling my husband before I left Virginia, I actually went with my neighbor, who is a friend of mine's, Karen, and we went to go see Brian McKnight, and it was at a concert in a park. And so we were up on a hill, nice, pretty grass, and he was singing to us. And it was one of those types of things where you wear, your linen and summer dresses and stuff. It was really, really nice. And I was really excited to see him. And I believe we got to meet him because her sister worked behind the scenes. It was very, very nice. And he seemed to be a very nice man. That has nothing to do with how his children feel about him, but children have to realize that eventually they do have to grow up. All right, you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Please remember that sharing is caring. Don't forget to click on that bell. I have some good stuff coming. And for those of you that want to come into my household and to speak all the negative and say that you're team this or team that, you can come here. But the one thing that I need to let you know, when you disrespect, you will get the boot. I love you all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.